As the anniversary of 9/11 drew near, I felt that I was having trouble getting a grip on the overall mood of the country, trouble making sense of what an anniversary like this meant for our generation. To get a grip on the situation, my friend Kenzie and I elected to, perhaps dangerously, and according to some of our friends, maybe stupidly, go to these spots which we had heard were possibly unsafe in New York City. Any densely populated areas, we read, were possible targets. Our objective was to take a careful look at what a country at war felt like on such a powerful and important anniversary. This is what we found.
It's 6:20 in the a.m. and it's September the 11th, 2011. It's the 10th anniversary of terrorist attacks on 9/11. And we're just getting to the train station and already encountering some police. Looks like they're trying to block, any wrongdoers from going to New York City. Hopefully they don't stop us.
New York, to that tall sky.
So it's 6:40 and we just are rolling out of Poughkeepsie. We encountered some police extra security around Poughkeepsie, but we haven't gotten on the train without bag check or anything like that. So I guess we'll see what is.
How are you?
I guess we'll be seeing about the other security measures as they happen to us, as that might have been right there, and we'll see more when we get to New York.
Like a scene from all those movies, but you're real enough to me.
Pretty soon we noticed policemen and firemen getting on the train as well. This started in Beacon and continued at almost every stop until we got to Grand Central.
Security's increased at every different stop as we got closer. Mayor Bloomberg said that to stay in our homes and stay in our seats and stay in our cars today would be letting the terrorists win. So we're trying not to do that. So we're going to step out and I guess test his words a little bit. President Obama just arrived in New York 5 minutes ago. I think it's 8:08 right now or something like that. So he's at the 9/11 Memorial site. So we're almost there.
I'm getting really nervous. We're underground now. It's dark. We're in the tunnel. We're about to get here. There are a lot of people on the train. Everything seems to be pretty normal. So I guess we'll see what the checkpoints are like when we get in.
Looking down on Central Park, where they sit
It looks like people aren't staying at home really.
after dark. New York, like a scene from
The strong law enforcement presence was evident as soon as we got off the train. We were also very surprised about how empty Grand Central felt. It was very eerie. The few people that we did run into, we stopped them and we asked, "Do you feel safe today?"
So you think you feel safe overall?
Yeah. To tell you the truth, I think that after 9/11, I had that hold my breath every day under the tunnel and over the bridge, for a long time. So now it's really hard for me to kind of get that level of anxiety again. I kind of went through that, and so now I get on the subway and I do think about it, but then I think, well,
Yeah.
While most people didn't want to be filmed, almost everyone agreed that they did feel safe. However, most people we spoke to also recognized the tension, the eeriness of being in New York 10 years after 9/11. After spending some time talking with people in Grand Central, we decided it was time to hit the streets.
I don't know. Pretty quiet.
We saw a few extra police officers, but not as much as we necessarily expected. There were lots of cop cars in front of us, and at one point an attack dog that was in one of the cars started barking viciously at us. So we decided that it was time to get on the subway.
It's 8:50. We're leaving Grand Central again, or actually we're hopping on the subway. We have 1 hour to basically traverse Times Square, New York Times, all the major hubs around Grand Central and Times Square, and central Manhattan. So we gotta see what New York has for us.
Law enforcement presence only increased as we got closer to the subway.
So we're hopping on the subway. Quickly, we gotta give them our bags. So apparently they're checking, every single piece of article, every article.
You can see behind Kenzie the woman of color who's going through her bag with the cops. When we paused with our backpacks at the table with the cops, they just waved us on by.
I didn't get checked, neither of us got checked, so that's really weird. The lady right before us definitely got stopped, and they checked all our bags and everything, but they just waved us right by. So I'm not sure if it's like a random check, or if they're, profiling a little bit. Like, I don't want to, accuse them of anything, but for some reason we didn't get checked. So the overall air must not be on the side of extreme caution.
We got on the subway, the shuttle to Times Square from Grand Central. You could tell the people were a little nervous, but overall it seemed like a regular day. It didn't take long before we were at Times Square.
Oh, we are here in Times Square, 10 years after 9/11. Lots of police. No, maybe not as much as I expected. It's pretty quiet. It is a Sunday though, we have to keep in mind, so I don't know how busy it usually is.
Law enforcement officials were everywhere. It made me feel more safe, but seeing so many of them definitely created a tension that everyone could feel. There's also a profound feeling of what had happened in New York 10 years ago. Names of the victims of 9/11 ran in bright lights across one of the billboards. It was almost silent. Everyone there just watching, staring. It was beginning to feel eerie, and after just a couple of minutes, we decided we wanted to move on, this time to the New York Times.
Going on. There's like nobody around. I don't know, it's been pretty lackadaisical, but it's kind of got like an eerie feel around.
I'm not sure what I was expecting here. Maybe reporters shouting on cell phones and viciously writing on moleskins, but whatever it was, it didn't happen. And overall, the police officers we saw seemed pretty chill.
Yeah, but every police officer we've seen so far, other than the ones around the memorial site in Times Square, have like basically been really relaxed and maybe even texting sometimes.
Yes, the female police officer who was texting while on the job was a little strange, but we felt safe. The feeling of New York is still hard to describe. There was definitely a nervousness, an alertness about the people that day, but there was also a robust sense of courage, of patriotism, like the man with the American flag at 6:30 in the morning at the train station. I think there's a lot of truth in Giuliani's quote. The attacks of September 11th were intended to break our spirit. Instead, we have emerged stronger and more united. We feel renewed devotion to the principles of political, economic, and religious freedom, the rule of law, and the respect for human life.